Hello everyone. So I'd like to talk for just a minute about a story that's a couple weeks old, but it needs to be repeated, and I expect that we'll see more of this kind of thing coming in the future. And that is the state of Georgia moving, or has already made the appropriate moves to copyright the state laws, so that they cannot be published, and essentially so that people cannot get access to the full, all the annotations and the full scope of the law. The state of Georgia publishes some of the statutes, or like the framework of the statutes, online, but in order to get the full scope with all the precedent in terms of court cases and hearings and judgments and the annotations and other ways in which the laws are updated, you have to actually purchase a physical copy for like $400. In addition to this, they are taking legal action against people who do publish the state laws, and one of those people is an attorney. I believe he's an attorney, a guy named Malamud. Hope I'm probably mispronouncing that, but he purchased a copy of the full set of statutes and all the Georgia state laws and published them online and in different places for free, and he was taken to court by the state. And the judge ruled that even though he wasn't charging money for his copies of the state laws, he was receiving attention for it, and therefore that was driving business his way in some other fashion. And so they ruled against this man and told him he has to take down all of the copies that he's published online, and he has to destroy all of his digital copies. Now, what this really is all about is keeping people ignorant of the law, so that people don't have access to the rules by which they are governed. And on the very basis, if you just think through it logically, on the very face of it, this is totally, it's corrupt, and it's totalitarian authoritarianism. It's ridiculous. The citizens of the state of Georgia own those laws through choosing representatives and giving up some of their tax dollars to pay those representatives to create, maintain, and manage those laws. And so only the total population of the state of Georgia has any right to say that, that these are some kind of copyright violation. And I'm not 100% familiar with the copyright laws, but I think under those circumstances, when you consider that every single person in the state of Georgia has a stake in those laws and has some ownership if they've paid taxes of those laws, then those kinds of things fall into public domain, and they really aren't eligible for that kind of copyright. But again, this is about keeping people ignorant of the law so that it can be manipulated against the average person and in favor of the corporate oligarchy. And really, this is a move by statists to give more power to the state and take power away from the average person. And so it's something that people should be aware of. I'm honestly surprised it started in Georgia first. I would have expected it to begin in California or something like that, maybe Massachusetts or somewhere else that is terribly leftist, and dominated by state-worshipping people. But I think Georgia is the first, if I'm not mistaken. I think Georgia is the first to make this kind of move. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen in other places as they try to limit people's access to the information by which they are being controlled. So, just a thing to know. Look into it if you're interested. Thanks for listening.